One's a former NFL star turned esports coach.
I was getting the stink eye from my wife. She's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing."
And one's a dad who can't stop playing Rocket League.
These kids these days, they're like, blah, 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 blah. We're used to jump and run.
Together, they welcome you to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge.
I'm your host, Ahman Green, and if this is your first time tuning in, this is a fun show. We talk about a lot of stuff going around in one of my favorite spaces, the video game industry and also esports. As it says on the screen right here, I'm the director of esports at Lincoln, Nebraska, University of Nebraska, Lincoln, where I played ball, college ball. I graduated from, got a BA in geography, arts and sciences college. Shout out to that. And but I'm now back on campus in the College of Journalism and Mass Communication, and assisting with the Nebraska Esports Club program, along with myself and a really, really smart dude, Ryan Tan. He's my assistant director of esports. He is awesome dude, former pro, Overwatch player, Dota, little StarCraft, a little bit of everything else. Man, got a lot of stuff under his name. So let me bring in one of my co-hosts, my man Rico Suave. What's up, Rico?
What up, man?
Did you get a haircut?
I did.
Oh, he like me. He cutting stuff off.
Hey, you know, I had to do it.
Okay. Now I was just intro to the show here, talking about what we talk about here: video games, movies, esports, anime. Some movement going on in Lincoln that we got to talk about, even though this is a video game podcast or rumors. We'll say I don't know if it's real.
It's not rumors anymore. It's real. It happened.
Oh.
It happened.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know this is a video game podcast, y'all, but big movement in Lincoln, Nebraska. So it is official that our AD, Trev Alberts, former All-American linebacker from played here in Nebraska by way of Iowa, and is now the AD at Texas A&M. So he just went to a competitor. We were once in the Big 12 against Texas A&M. Now I don't know how. I guess I don't even want to say it. I don't want to get.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. Not rivals, but going against each other. And he decided that he was going to go there now.
Interesting. I mean, I did not see this coming. I mean, no. Wow. I bet a lot of people didn't see this coming. I mean, only people that knew that.
It was very took everyone by surprise. It kind of sucks. Like it really sucks, because this is
I can see the stuckness in your face the way you said it.
Look, man, like this is a guy who has his name in the stadium, is an All-American, was a first-round draft pick. You know, the heart, blood, sweat, and tears for the Huskers, came back, talked about transparency, talks about, making sure that everybody knew what was going on and everybody had to say what was happening, all this stuff. And just out of nowhere, did you know? Because I had forgotten about this. Excuse me.
Gazoo type.
In November of last year, 2023, November 14th, 2023, he got an 8-year extension.
Yes, I remember that.
To stay at the university that doubled his salary.
Yes, I knew that.
And
I remember that.
He still decided, I'm gonna go down to Texas A&M.
Wow.
I'm gonna go down to Texas A&M.
Well,
Like,
I mean, this is I say how I was just talking to a whole bunch of Packer fans a couple of days ago when they found out about Aaron Jones and AJ. Well, AJ Dillon's been gone for about a month now, and Aaron Jones just got released, but he got quickly swooped up by Minnesota Vikings, the divisional rival. And I said, "This is business." I said, "This is the business side of stuff." So this is the business side of college sports, if you want to say it, because he's the athletic director.
Yeah,
this is business. This is unfortunate how things go down in the collegiate space.
You never root for anybody to lose their jobs, and he got a new job. He got picked up by the Minnesota Vikings, right? Like,
you talking about Aaron Jones?
Yeah, Aaron Jones. You never root for somebody to lose their job, but he got picked up right away. But as soon as that happened, I mean this with all sincerity.
Right.
As soon as he got released, my first thing that popped into my head was, Ahman's rushing record is safe.
Yeah. All y'all.
I was like, oh, thank goodness.
You, Chris, AD, we're on the same group chat. Nick, shout out to my 93.7 the ticket family. All hit me up right away. They was like, AG. I'm like, because I'm in Texas, so I'm like, I got a grandchild and she's running the house right now, so I'm like oblivious to stuff, especially what we just talked about with Trev. And so when I found out about that, that wasn't even the first thing that popped on my mind, because I know Aaron personally. Like, we talked through a few conversations online. So it was the first thing was like, he just took a pay cut. Like, he negotiated some, let me give you money back to try to help out the salary cap. And I'm like, dang, but that's business. And real quick, before we go into more of this, let me let everybody know where we're streaming at. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, obviously, because that's where you're watching us at. Wow. And we're on X and now Instagram. And I know TikTok is going to be eventually a part of StreamYard. So then it's going to be TikTok in a minute. So we are everywhere. We are everywhere. So back to the conversation now. But yeah, Aaron Jones, obviously big thing. But then now Trev here. In both places where I work and used to work. It's a lot of interesting movement. What's up, Bear Fan? How you doing? Bear Fan 85 in the chat. Roy Moran Sr., how you doing? He says, "What's up, Rico?"
What up, guy? Like, okay, hold on. It's been so long since I've been back on this podcast. How is everybody? Like, I've missed all you guys. Like, I don't know none of y'all, but I have missed all of you guys so much. Like thank you for tuning in to the podcast, even though yours truly wasn't here. I know that it's Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge, but I know y'all come to see me, and I apologize for not showing up all that much, because I've been traveling and I've been all over the country.
Yeah,
so,
he's a play-by-play guy for the Supernovas.
No, I'm just the producer. DP is a play-by-play. I've done a little bit of color. I've done 2 games color commentary. I might get a third one in, but no, I've been all over the place. And I swear, every time that we were having a podcast, it was like, oh, I'm on a plane, I gotta travel.
Yeah,
like it's been nuts. But I'm finally back. It's great to see you guys. Well, not see you guys, but hear from you guys.
Hear and read the text.
I was hoping that I could see
Read
John. I was hoping I could see John, because I was going to tell him about the Sydney Hilly and Danielle Hart, and I was like, hey, I told him that I knew you, and they were like, oh my gosh, John, like,
yeah,
they do, yeah.
That's was it volleyball ladies?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Okay, volleyball. Gotcha. We got Matt Styles in the chat says, "I'm here for Rico." There you go.
Yeah, you are.
Campaign action right there.
Matt Styles knows what's up.
But I'll say a lot going on in other spaces, obviously beyond the video game esports space. He got me coughing now. So yeah, 12 Alberts is now Aggie. Aaron Jones is a Viking, and a lot of other players around the NFL are not with the previous teams, So Bear fans, Colt fans. Well, Colt fans are happy. They kept one of their receivers, Pittman.
Yep,
Michael
Michael
Pittman
Pittman.
Jr. got a
He's
big
hey,
deal.
Michael
He's
Pittman
what?
Jr. is good.
Yeah,
Michael
he's
Pittman
good,
Jr. is good.
and he's got paid for how good he is.
Yep.
Well, hold up, you got something really right in the tickle of my throat here.
Derrick Henry is going to the Ravens, which when I get Madden, sign me up for Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson running game. Like that's gonna be a blast. That's gonna be too much fun.
With the Ravens on Madden, so that made me so happy because now DK or JK won't be there, will he? Is he still on the roster, JK?
Jay Dobbins? Yeah, he's still
Yeah.
there. He just
So
needs
I
to
have
get healthy.
JK, Lamar, and Derrick Henry. I wish they could do DLC right now and put Derrick Henry on the game right now.
Just trade for him. Just
I could do Mud.
on there.
I could do Mud.
Yeah, well, just go on there and make a career or whatever, and then just trade for him, or just manage the rosters and just move him over.
Make that work real quick. Hey, so real quick, I give a shout out to our one of our sponsors to the show here. It is Slide Beverage, a beverage made for gamers. So play is an essential part of life, whether it's digital or outdoors. Exploring the world of fun, y'all. Keep the good times rolling, and support your play with Slide Boost, which is similar to that other drink, but it hypes you up naturally. Slide Chill, that lets you kind of wind down when you have that tough grind of league or something like that, and or Slide Dream, because then it helps you relax and then go to bed too. So with that, explore and check out Slide. Go to drinkontheslide.com to check out the website for all the items, from the drink items, and they got gear too. They got beanies, they got hats, they got t-shirts, and all the fun stuff here. So all right, I did send the link to our guest, but we'll see. Hopefully he did it. He is on another. He's like 4 hours behind us. So if hopefully he makes it, and I hope everything is okay. If he doesn't make it, we'll just.
So it's 2:43.
Yeah, out there 4 hours ahead.
Can I say something to everybody?
Go right ahead.
I hate time zones.
Oh, well, you've been traveling. You already.
They are ridiculous. I can never keep them straight. I'm like, oh, East Coast. It's like an hour in front or an hour behind. It's like, no, it's this one. I'm like, I always get that wrong. And then it's Mountain, Pacific. I'm like, there's too much. There's too much going on. We need like two. There's 2 time zones. Just figure it out.
Yes. Yeah, and it's another reason we could probably, I think, blame the government for stuff. This is a government action.
Yes.
And times and the falling forward or springing ahead and falling back time zone or hour changes. Daylight savings is what I'm trying to say, because they changed it. Now daylight savings just happened last weekend.
Yep.
So last Sunday we sprung ahead an hour, which last year it was like in April, wasn't it? Or like
I don't know. It's ridiculous.
I just know for the last 3 or 4 years, daylight savings time has been jumping back and forth between sometime in March to sometime in April. Yeah. And you just don't know it until you're in the moment. You up late partying. You're like, I'm good. I could get another hour in or gaming. And all of a sudden you're like, your phone flips because the phone automatically does it.
The phone knows.
It'll flip from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. You're like, oh, did I just time travel? Like, what just happened?
I'm in the future.
I'm in the future. Oh my God. You could be so drunk or the other way. You don't think you time travel for real. You're gonna be dude, you just see that?
There's like with daylight saving, in Australia, there's like 2 different parts that don't have daylight saving. So now,
okay.
Yeah, so right now in Australia, there's like 4 different time zones. But it's not like they're split up like cut like this. There's like one that's like this quarter of the island, and then the middle of the island, there's 2 of them, one up top, one below. And then there's like another one on this side of the island and like a small little sector or something. So there's like 4 different time zones. It's like here, and here in Australia. And it's weird.
You could be basically doing like Pac-Man, going through different time zones.
Yeah.
I'm in 3 hours behind. Oh my God.
It's like a 5-hour drive, and really it's like an hour drive. You're just like, I don't know what's happening.
That would drive me crazy. Right there. All right, since well, we're gonna keep the good times rolling here. Well, our guest, hopefully he got the link. I sent it out, and if things don't work, like I said, we'll reschedule. Well, we'll get rolling with this show here. All right, we're gonna get on to let me do this here. Boom. Okay, that. And I think I added, hold on, I gotta add in yours. Did you did a quick his and newt bite? Where's my
Yes.
phone? Where's my phone?
Come
Going?
on, come on, man.
Hold up. I gotta add yours because I think I did it too late. Oh no, I didn't. I just gotta add it to. I have it. I just gotta put it
Look what
in
I got.
the what is it? And I'm gonna do mine first though, but I want to get yours set up because you're next.
Look at that.
It's a fun one too. People don't like yours. They don't. I don't know if they're gonna really like mine. Mine's is about money. It's about others' fun.
It's about money. Yeah, I like to have fun. Ahman likes to be an adult.
Hey, I saw a headline that I haven't hit a while was, kind of like the financial sector of things in
Yeah.
gaming. And I saw this article and it struck a nerve because then I watched you'll see what I'm talking about here. So
I feel like I should do more of that and learn more of things like that, but I just don't.
no, I
It's
do
a
too,
problem.
man. I go down your lane sometimes. Too. I go down that lane of, you know what? I'm gonna be 10-year-old of mine. Next episode, 10-year-old mine gonna show up.
I tell people, I go, yeah, me and my wife want to buy a house, and they're like, oh, have you looked into the this and that, and paying these and going to the bank? And I'm like, I don't know any of these words that you're using. I just know that I don't have enough money for a house.
Right. Yeah, I don't want it
They're
right now, but
like,
hey,
well, you have to check your credit score with your this and your that. And I'm like, I don't know what those words mean. I don't.
all right. And so, like I said here, all right, we got War Games secures another 1. I said another, but it's not another 1.5 million for their games fund. But this is a fun game here. I read up on it a little bit, and so let me get to where I have all my information. Here we go. So War Games received an investment of 1.5 million from the Games Fund. So the Games Fund, so everybody knows, is a $50 million early stage VC, so venture capital group, who funds veterans are funded by veterans of the video game industry. So people that used to work in the video game industry from other gaming companies retired and now created a venture fund capital group. So, and it's, I believe, located in Eastern Europe, and they help businesses in Eastern Europe and Cyprus and other parts of the international side. Like, come on, you don't want to help nobody from the US, but it is what it is.
How dare you?
So I'm trying to see the studio that it helped out. It goes by the name of Zheshee. If I'm saying that right, it's Zheeshee. So Zheshee. I don't know if I'm saying.
It
So the
sounds right.
studio, right? It sounds about right. So the studio and Roar Games, the studio Zheshee was established in 2023 by the founders, and then Roar Games funding will go towards their first game title. It's going to call Tenet of the Spark. And it's an action game, and then that Artyom Sherbakov, I think I'm destroying his name. I know I am, but he is the CEO and founder of Roar Games, like Roar Games, and said, I'm delighted to welcome the Games Fund as our first investor. We are impressed by their human approach and willingness to buy into the team's vision and for an experience and an IP which can transcend boundaries of gaming. So Tenet of the Spark, which is the game, has already been captured in imagination of millions. It's already captured the millions of potential players around the world, and the community's reaction was made us realize that this is a vibrant, energetic story could give a new life to a new life in the form of gaming. So Tenet of the Spark is inspired by a short film by GC back in 2023, and so I'm gonna run a video here so you can see this. And I watched the video earlier, obviously getting ready for the show, and the video is awesomeness there. So let me get everything set up and share here. Boom. And this is the spark. So this part of the animation is what is going to be part of the game. So this right here is pretty cool stuff here. So the graphics look amazing. I thought this is just a short film. It's going to be the animation for Tenet of the Spark game that's coming out sometime next year in 2025.
It's giving me Across the Spider-Verse.
That's what I said. Across the Spider-Verse, feel, vibe. That volume okay? times, everything. And it just shows is obviously his lineage.
Uh-huh.
He is smart, so graphics is awesome. Ichi benefit from this generation of the company, um, Roar Games is getting a nice little bump in the arm, man. Like doing this, working with a company that it looks like and definitely feels like they have the experience in designing a great video game, and so now they're up and running. The game's fun. It's helping out, companies, and hopefully in the world, hey, come over to the U.S. I'm pretty sure some gaming companies that could do about 1.4. I know an esports program that could take about 1.5 million and build a facility right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Here you go. Just saying.
Yeah, no big deal.
You want to help out video game services? That's a service, right? To my students, to our
Yeah.
students. Just saying, just throwing that out there. Anybody listening in on LinkedIn, because we're on LinkedIn right now. You never
It's
know.
great to see, these services and this money being lent out to, a video game company that's not like a super well-known company and is able to put something like this out. Like that
Mhm.
looks like a really cool game. Again, I'd have to look more into it to understand exactly what's going on, but just based off of that, I would be really interested in trying it out and seeing what it's all about because like I said, that animation style, I love it. I didn't know that I loved it until I watched Spider-Man.
That's
But
that's what it reminded me of. Spider-Man
yeah,
into the Spider-Verse.
but after I watched
Oh,
that and then watched, Across the Spider-Verse and then just looking at that, like I love that animation style so much, and being able to have it in a video game would just be sublime.
I would love it. Play it every day. I'll be like, I'm not playing any. I'll do it on easy, normal, heroic, or the hard level. I'll go through all of that like I did Halo. That'll be my next
All of
favorite.
it.
Just
All of
off
it.
the off the graphics. Graphics look awesome. And I didn't mention at the start, but this article is at GameIndustry.biz.com. Go check it out. Read the rest of the article and find out more details about Roar Games and them working with the Games Fund. And you might want to look up the Games Fund. Actually, I'll go. I think I have their link.
Oh,
Yeah, their link here. Let me see where I
post
put
the
it.
link. Let the people know.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do. Post a link in the chat here. So go check it out. They are a venture capital group, and that means they got money, and
They got they got money.
they want to help people out here. So
Oh, he got money.
exactly, exactamundo. Where we at with you? Where did I put your story at? Oh, there we go. Boom. All right, you ready, Rico?
I am. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to feel old? Because Shrek 2 is celebrating its 20th at
Yeah, I could feel that. My granddaughter makes me feel old, but that's
Shrek
of
2
course.
is celebrating its 20th anniversary, and for its 20th anniversary, select theaters are going to have Shrek 2 in
Amazing.
their theaters. So you could go back to the movie theater and know what it was like to watch Shrek 2 for the first time in a movie theater with the popcorn, sitting in the seat, getting your, $25 drink and just hanging out. Cinemark and AMC locations across the US are screening the movie for the 20th anniversary. Cinemark is charging $10. AMC has the movie listed as, you ready for this? You ready for this, everybody? $5
Boom. I
per ticket.
highlighted that. I highlighted. See,
$5 per ticket at AMC theaters to watch Shrek 2 on the 20th anniversary. Other cinema chains may offer the re-release as well. As usual, check with your local theater before heading out. But look, man, it was released in May 2004, earned 2 Academy Awards, including Best Animated Feature Film and Best Original Song for Counting Crows' Accidentally in Love. The movie didn't win either award, but they were nominated at least.
wow, I did not know that. I knew
Yeah,
one. I knew one. I knew they were
yeah,
animated. animated.
At least nominated. So, but look, man, if you're a fan of Shrek, if you're a fan of Shrek 2, Shrek Forever After, Shrek 3, with all of the Shreks, Puss in Boots, anything with Donkey and Shrek and all of that, you get on out there. I think, as I said, April 12th is when they'll start it. Check with your local theaters, check if they're going to have it out there. But go on out, take your kids, take yourself, and go watch Shrek 2. I know if it's here in Lincoln, my children have not been to a movie theater yet. But I think that might be the first movie they watch in the theater.
Good idea. Don't do that yet. I know your kids. Oh my God, oh man,
they're crazy
because they're under 5, right? The oldest is
4 and 2.
Okay. See, I got a 4-year-old, and she by herself, she made it through probably 3/4 of the way of what did I see? It was a PG-13 comic book movie. I can't remember. It just took her about 2 months ago, but she made it through about 3/4 of the movie. So I can't imagine your 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and your 2-year-old, he's a G. Like he don't mess around.
He does not. Ellie would make my 4-year-old. Ellie would make it. She's a big movie TV gal. She'll if you put something on for her, she'll sit and she'll watch it. The only
That's what it
problem
was,
is
Marvels.
she'll have to go to the bathroom at some point. But I'm like, I've already seen this movie. Like, I'll be fine. Like it'll be all right.
Good guess, Sith Lori. That was it. It was Marvels. I took my granddaughter to see Marvels back in the wintertime, right before Christmas break. And about 3/4 of the movie, she was good. But then at about the last 20-30 minutes, she was trying to T'Challa herself out that seat.
She was like, I'm out. Nope.
She's like, I'm out. I'm about to Black Panther this thing. What kind of fun?
I
was like, hey, here's some popcorn. Here's some more soda. Like, here you go. Don't move.
Here's some candy. Here's some popcorn.
The movie's almost over, baby girl. Let's go. The movie's almost over.
Said, please.
She did good, but yeah.
Get on out there. Watch you some Shrek 2.
Please do.
If you don't remember Shrek 2, Shrek goes to visit Fiona's parents, and they do not know that she turned into an ogre and married an ogre. They have to deal with that. She lives in a castle. In it's like far away, but it's like Hollywood. And Shrek thinks that she's not in love with him anymore.
Genius in itself to think of that. Like,
it was fantastic. And they go through some stuff, some trials, some tribulations. What's his name? Prince
Farquaad.
No, that was the first one. It's like the handsome dude. I don't remember what his name is.
Good question.
But his there's some things going on and some potions and some mixes and just look, Shrek 2. Like Shrek is the best, obviously the OG is the best, but Shrek 2 is like right up there. Like I honestly like Shrek 2 more than I like the original Shrek.
Yes.
Like the jokes and everything, the music is just chef's kiss.
It's hilarious. It's so hilarious. All right, here I'm gonna get on to our. We got it. Hold up, time out. Shrek 2, go see it. It has that great adult comedy. That's kind of intertwined, threaded throughout the movie. So anybody above the age of 30 will get it, what I'm talking about. Because even when I was 30, when that movie came out, I was in my 20s, actually. I was 27 when this movie came out.
In 2004?
Yes. Because I'm 27, I'm 47 now. Wow.
I'm on. So 20 years ago, March or whatever, 2004, I was 10.
You were 10. That is crazy.
I was in 4th grade.
Oh my God. Oh wow.
How do you feel? How do you feel, Ahman?
It's just I feel fine. It's just amazing how time works, It's how time and people age look differently.
Mr. Green.
Yes, I'm Mr. Professor Green, Old Man Green. What's up, old school? That's what I get sometimes.
That one? What's up, old school?
I like that one though. I like
that was good.
That's like I earned like that's like
yeah.
Call me you can call me old school all you want, homie.
All right.
Here, let's get on. Yeah, I still got full head of hair. My dad did. Oh, I'm good to go. All right, here we go to the next segment here. Let's get in there. Get in it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right, we got the best thing I've seen on social media here. So let's get all the stuff rolling. There's that, and there's that. And I'm up first. You're gonna like this video.
All right, go ahead. Hit me.
There you go. You see that line right there? The NFL's approach to player salaries has been causing quite a stir. So just
Okay.
let that sink in your brain for a second
Okay.
as I get to my video here. And I got to turn up the volume. Share the screen. All right. The volume's not there because I got to take the mute off the actual tab.
I can't hear it.
Can you hear it?
Mm-mm.
Oh. I got it.
A little, like every once in a while, it kind of cuts in and out.
Where is it at? Oh, man. Oh,
It doesn't
okay.
want to work.
Well, the volume doesn't work because I'm Instagram live and trying to play this. This is
Yep.
an Instagram reel. So
Yep.
if you can see, it says mediocre quarterback, linebackers, wide receivers. And so Jennifer Aniston character said, "I can't believe you getting paid $500,000. You offered me 30." And then the one kid goes where it says running back. He said, "Y'all getting paid?" So I have
It's like
voiceover
30.
here.
I'm getting 15, and he's just
He
like,
said, "Y'all,
"You guys are getting paid?"
yeah, like running the star." It said star running back. Y'all getting paid?
Yep. That's exactly. Look. Okay. I love Big Kirko. All right. I love Kirk family member. Right. But he's making $180 million going to Atlanta. He doesn't have an Achilles.
Man, his agent, I get agent of the decade.
Yeah.
If there was
Hall
an
of Fame.
award, an
Hall of
agent
Fame.
award, Hall of Fame agent, it's like hitting the market at the right time, literally every time, and banking in more and more every time. Like when you do financial investments, you're supposed to always like get a little risky. It's not even risk; it's just happening. It's like there isn't even no risk. Where teams are okay. Oh yeah, you don't have an Achilles, no problem.
They're like, "Oh, Kirk Cousins? Yeah, no, we'll take
Yeah,
him.
we'll take him.
No, we love him. Yeah, go ahead.
He doesn't. He's a nice guy.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's a nice guy.
Look, hey, seeing Kirk Cousins and like kind of knowing what he's about, that quarterback series on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like seeing Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I watched part of that. Yep. Funny dude. He's a funny dude though. He's funny.
He ain't gonna last in Atlanta.
No, but he's a funny dude. I get him there.
Like that's yeah. We'll see. I'm excited. Yeah. Look, like I said, I like Kirk Cousins. I think he's good. I think he's a solid quarterback. He's gonna have a really young team around him. But to get $180 million fresh off of a torn Achilles,
right? Bruh. And I'll read the caption right there. It says on Instagram account, what's that? No Fly Zone. Oh, that's great how they spelled that. No Fly Zone. I love that. Genius. So it says the NFL's approach to player salaries has been causing quite the stir. It's hard to ignore how average quarterbacks are landing huge contracts, sometimes over $30 million a year, while the stars of other positions like wide receivers, linebackers, and running backs seem to be getting the short end of the stick. This raises a big question. Why are mediocre quarterbacks getting paid like superstars, and actual superstars in roles aren't seeing the same kind of money? So take wide receivers, for example, and then it probably goes into explanation wide receivers, about the imbalance of that. Yeah. So you can read the rest. Go to Instagram. I'm gonna help this guy out, whoever website or Instagram account this is. No Fly Zone. NOPHLY zone. Go follow him. At least see this clip here, and it explains. And what me and Rico just talked about. Yeah, it's amazing. And there's so many show bits I've caught, and of course somebody put out there. Kurt probably had, not probably. I mean, they're not in his bank account, but the rough estimate without taxes, it's so close to $400 million in the bank.
Oh yeah,
since he left the Commanders. Since he left the Commanders, okay, he's got more, just as much as Pat Mahomes, where Pat Mahomes got 3 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
And Kirk does. What's his playoff wins? How
One.
many?
He has
One.
one.
He has one playoff win, and he's making just as much, if not more. No, he's making just as much as Pat Mahomes, who has 3 Super Bowl titles.
Mm-hmm. He
Just let that rest
parlayed.
in your sec on your brain. Sit on your brain for a second.
Yeah, he parlayed the success, quote unquote, that he had in Washington into a fully guaranteed contract in Minnesota, where he put up a lot of big numbers, but not really the playoff wins. Because if you remember
Mhm,
that run for Minnesota, he was
mhm.
not there. That wasn't him. He
That
came the
was
year. He came the year after that
Oh
because
yeah, that's
because
right.
they
That's
thought,
right.
okay, we're a quarterback away. Let's go get Kirk Cousins, who is a solid quarterback, and then we'll be in a good position. Well, he hasn't done that. He hasn't done that for Minnesota, but he's put up
Right.
really good numbers there. So you look at the numbers and you're just like, yeah, this will work. We can work with this.
Mm, right. And what do you say? That one game. You like that?
You like that?
You like
You
that?
like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, yeah, sure.
All right. What we got here for you, Rico? I got you. Got everything set up for you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this one is a little sadder than usually things that we like to talk about. But Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball and other anime and manga, passed away at the age of 68, I
Oh man,
believe.
58 years old.
68 years young. Um, and the internet has gone wild
Bonkers.
with so many people talking about how Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z was their first introduction to anime, and how
Yeah.
much they loved everything that he did and what he did for them. And you had other mangaka talking about how Akira Toriyama influenced them. You had the
Right.
creator of Naruto. You had
Ooh, good
Ichiro
job.
Oda, the
Good
creator
series.
of One Piece, talking about the
Awesome.
first time they
Awesome,
met.
brother.
The first time they met Akira Toriyama, they like couldn't speak. They were just in awe because of how big of a presence he is, and
Right.
how special and how important he is to the anime and the manga community. And unfortunately, he did pass away. And look, like I said, social media has been abound with videos like this, or
Mhm.
people, showing their best cosplays of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, or crossovers with Dragon Ball Z and other manga. And
Right.
it's just been showing how much he changed people's lives. And it's crazy to think, like it was jokes at first. Like, some people were like, oh, the Mexican cartel is called like a ceasefire because of how much Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z is like loved in Mexico. And it's the
Right.
same
Right.
thing here in America. Like, I don't know about you, I don't know about anybody else in the chat, but
Mhm.
the first anime that I ever watched was Dragon Ball Z, the first one ever. Shout out to
Right.
Toonami. Shout out to Toonami on Cartoon
Awesome.
Network,
Yep.
Adult Swim, whatever, for showing Dragon Ball Z. And that's the first time I ever watched, and that's when I fell in love with it. And I don't care what anybody says, Super Saiyan is the
That's fire.
blueprint for any type of massive transformation in any of the newer manga or anime. If you look at any of the newer
True.
ones,
True.
you can draw it all back to Super Saiyan. You can draw it all back to Goku transforming for the first time on Namek after Krillin gets blown up by Frieza. Like, that's it.
Man,
That's
when
the
you
blueprint.
have
And
right.
I thank Akira Toriyama for everything that he did, and may he rest in power.
100%. I mean, when you have football, Major League Baseball, and some soccer players, this is their after score move. It's going Super Saiyan. I know Juju Smith-Schuster did it a few times, or they throw actual. They do the whole Dragon Ball. 1998.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was around that long. I thought it
I
started
didn't
in
know.
the.
It started in 1989, and I'm like sitting here and I'm like, okay, I was born at the beginning of the Cell Game saga, like their Great Saiyaman saga. Like, I was born then, like the end of the Cell saga, beginning of the Cell Game saga, Saiyaman saga. That's when I was born. But to me, like, this stuff, like all of that before, was new. It was brand new to me when I was watching it. And I like the animation. You could not tell me that it was made in 1989. You couldn't tell me that.
I was 12 when that saga dropped. I I'm like, wow, 1989 is when it started, and I didn't had no clue about it. I didn't find out a Dragon Ball until I think I was in the league. I think it was like 2000 or 99 when I got to Green Bay. Between Seattle and Green Bay, 1999, 1990, 2000. That's when I found out about Dragon Ball Z, and I was like, "Oh, this is so dope."
Yeah.
I like the whole process of training. How they would. I remember the one episode where Goku was training on a planet with zero gravity. I'm like, "Oh!" I said,
Yep.
running in the sand where your feet go into the dirt about a foot, and then you got to replace that,
Yep.
and you're just and you grind all the facial expressions that they would
Yeah.
do going through their.
Everybody wanted to train. Everybody wanted to train in the hyperbolic time chamber. Everybody wanted to do that because the hyperbolic time chamber. That's where Gohan discovered. Well, that's where Goku discovered that Gohan was stronger than he was at the time, and that's like everybody was like, "Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. I could go Super Saiyan." Everybody wanted to go Super Saiyan. I don't care who you were. I don't care how old you were. Everybody tried going Super Saiyan at some point in their lives.
Darn it, the Sith Lord. Yes, that was that. I could do that. AG doing on-field drills with the DBZ in the background in my
Yep.
head. Yes, all day, every day. I would say for me, you said this was your first anime. So my first visual was Voltron back in the day. So 83, 84, 85, Voltron and Robotech. Those are my first anime. So Voltron was the first one, and then Robotech came around 85 when I watched the first episode in the series started. So I started with I was during my childhood. So and Voltron was that dude, right? 5 lions. Actually, I got him up in the corner. If you can see over my head, right
over there.
See the red line and his wings in the back.
Yep.
That's my dude. He would have the sword. The lions would come together. He would split the roll beast out or in half. It was over. So yeah, shout out to my man. How you say his name?
Akira Toriyama.
Akira Toriyama.
Like One Piece is my favorite manga anime of all time, but Dragon Ball Z will always be my first, and will always be, the one that got me into all of it.
You always gonna have one, kind of like in Highlander. There always will be one.
Yep,
it's that one. And from anime to video games to horror movies, action movies, it's that one. It's that first one you will never forget. Like I'll never forget it. My horror story.
Yep.
You know that. And a lot of people that's new in the chat here, my first horror movie when I was 4, because my brothers and sisters figured that they're gonna put me on the couch, so I stopped running around the house, and this will work, and it did. It was Friday the 13th Part 2.
Okay. And they were like, "Yeah, this works.
This works." You see, you can't move now because you think Jason's right behind you. I'm like, I was like, he's behind me. And my mom came home. She's like, "What's wrong with this baby? Why are you moving from the couch?" We put on Friday the 13th Part 2. They all I don't know, but I hope they all got their butts whipped that night.
They were like, "Well."
I hope they all got their butts whipped that night. That's wrong. Doing me like that. But I was all over the place. I know I was OP. I know I was OP. I see my granddaughter now. I know I was OP. I was over the top. She's like this now. I already know. I was like, I'm not. Y'all were wrong, but
how dare you? First off, how dare you?
How dare you? All right, let's get on to the next attitude of stuff here. We got game releases.
Release the games. It's time for the game releases. Game releases.
I'm still trying to wonder what type of breed dog that is. So I am so I'm so excited.
Are you?
So excited. I'm like that little meme, that little girl when she goes so excited for this game that I'm about to talk about here. This is the game of all games if you're 47 years old, or I'll say you 40 years old or older.
Ah, dang it, I missed it by 10 years.
This is a game that, all right, it set a whole lot of standards for me in terms of gameplay, in terms of cheat codes. Let me get it on the screen here. And it's going back. Look, it went retro right there with the TV tube screen right there. We're
Ooh.
talking about Contra, y'all. And Contra, it brought around the first cheat code, or I'll say one of them.
I can't hear you, Ahman.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, it was too loud. Well, I can talk through it now. So, Operation Contra, or Contra Operation Gulaga, if I'm saying that correctly. So you got a fun game here. You got 4-player action going on too in this game. So you got, it's the year 2020, it's 26 something. It just says 26XX80. So after, I guess after that. So the Gulaga archipelago off the coast of New Zealand is ground zero for all the mysterious meteor showers. And 6 months later, the Red Falcon terrorist group invades the island, and unusual gravity waves can detect emitting from the area. The Earth Federation sends in the GX Army of Reconnaissance. So the GX Army has my man, legendary leader Bill Razor. He's the field leader of the Contra unit. Then you have Lance Bean, and he is one of the head. He's the head bandit hero. All right, and then you have Island Warrior Ariana, who is a tremendously skilled warrior native to Galuga Archipelago. Her people have guarded the island's temple since the ancient times. And then who's this next one? Lucia. She's serving as the commander. Doyle. Lucia is a deputy commander in the Earth Marine Corps as well. And then you have some other heavy duty destroyer, Lieutenant Stanley Ironside, that is a cyborg robot there. And then you have the baddies. You have the enemy forces and Red Falcon soldiers and super walls. So you got all this fun stuff, man. You got side scrolling going on there. Okay. Old school. I had to take the volume off so you can't really hear the game now, so you can hear my voice. But this is going to take me back. They have this is on all platforms. It's on PC, PlayStation 5, for Switch and Xbox Series X, and digital as well. So, man, I'm like, what? I'm like,
Can I
yes. I was just talking about this game, somebody redoing it, and they just redid it. They redid it.
They read your mind. Can I say something
did.
that might get me in trouble?
Uh-oh. What you gonna say, Rico?
I've never played Contra.
Oh, that's not bad.
Okay.
That's not as bad as not watching any of the Star Wars.
Okay.
Okay.
But I
And
know the Contra code.
There you go.
Like, I've never played it, but I know the Contra code. Like, I feel like everybody who's played video games knows the Contra code, even though you don't know what it's from.
Exactly. Like, people have said it just to say it. It's one of the podcasts that I was kind of inspired by was called Up, Up, Down, Down.
Up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start, right?
Yeah. I hear you, Mad Styles. Contra, so many hours wasted on that game as a kid, yes. But when you had the 50-man code, they weren't wasted because you could pass the game. I got to where I could pass the game and I still have 40 men left. So I would not die. But you didn't have.
So you were pretty good.
I was pretty good at Contra. That was my that was my game. What I was hoping for when I said this game needs to be redone, I don't mind it being it still has the old school look. I don't mind it.
Mm-hmm.
But having making it like a Halo Call of Duty version of Contra,
instead of side scrolling, it's like
instead of making it 3D and more three-dimensional, I guess thredimensional, I would say.
Yeah.
That would be just to test it out, and it could put me as the lead character. I wouldn't mind doing that,
People would be upset. Like, I feel like a game like this, for a game as iconic as Contra is, where it has its own code that everybody, despite never playing the game, knows what the code is. People would be upset if you changed just the style in which it's played. Like, right now, it's just updating the graphics. I think I don't know if it's anything else that's different about it, but like, they updated the graphics. It's not like they changed the entire thing to do what you're saying. Although that would be very cool.
Did you see the code when it said available now?
Available now, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the code. It said up, up, down, down, left, right. Ooh, they so sneaky. They so sneaky. They
They
try
know
to
what
sneak that past us. They
they
try
know
to.
what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. And see, and this is what tells people. This is what you should. These are the telltale signs of advertising to the gamer,
Yeah.
right? They
Like
know.
this is like a love letter to Contra. Like
Yes,
that's what it is.
like like I said, if you're 40 years and over, this is even your age. Rico, you knew what this is. You know the code.
Yeah.
And you got what's that, 4-player multiplayer now?
I'd play it.
And you have just other game modes in this game too. I didn't get a chance to look. I could go back and read it, but still it's got so many just cool remembrances. I used to play this solo and still go to the game. Once I got really good at it, because was no saving the game back in our time. That's
Mhm.
anybody in the chat. I know the Bear fan, you're around my age, and so you know what I'm talking about. There was no saving the game. That means if you beat it, that means you went through it nonstop, or you paused it to go use the bathroom and come back and finish. You never turned off the system because there was no saving process. There was no 1 terabyte of hard drive. No megabytes, no kilobyte, nothing. You had your Nintendo or this was a Nintendo game, wasn't on Sega Genesis. And maybe at the arcade. Very few arcades in America had this game. I'm pretty sure Korea or China, they definitely had the cabinet of this, but we didn't have it. And if it was, please let me know where it was.
He's trying to buy it.
I'm gonna go time travel and go. There it is. Now left, right, BA, so let's go. Right.
I never had that, but I did have, the PlayStation, the OG PlayStation with like the memory card,
Yes.
or you
Yes.
just like if you didn't have a memory card, which I didn't for the longest time, it's like okay, you gotta if you're playing late and like you gotta go to bed, you gotta leave it on. And then it's on like all the next day while you're at school and you come back and you got to hope that, it didn't get bumped or anything, or it got stuck
Mhm.
and the screen froze and the disc got all messed up. So you're just like, okay, I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to leave this on. I'm going to come back and I'm going to beat the game.
I hope it's saved.
Yeah. So I didn't have the Contra not saving, but it's close. It's close.
If you didn't, you were gonna have your heart broken. You're gonna be like, "Oh my god, I gotta do all that."
I would be hurt.
Like I was saying, heartbroken.
I would be hurt.
You'd be mad. You'd be like,
Yeah.
"Man, I gotta
do all
I gotta do that again." And
And it's always the part where you're just like, you finally passed a part, and you're like, oh my gosh, and then something happens. The power flickers, like the bear fan said, you cried at the power flicker. The power flickers, or
Yes.
somebody comes down and they're just like, okay, it's time to eat, or it's time for bed, and you're just like, no, I gotta finish. I just got past the hardest part, please.
Right. And this just happened to me as a grown person about 3 years ago on PlayStation 4 when my hard drive kind of locked up on Last of Us. I was right at the end too, and it stopped working. And then I took it into my boy Eeyore. He's not in the chat tonight, but Eeyore Gaming Generations. And he said, "All right, here's the deal," because he repairs computers and Xboxes, consoles, and everything. He said, "All right, come on. This is the choice you have to make." That's how he made it. He was like dramatic too. This is
like,
the choice.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, this is the choice you have to make. I'm like, what? He's like, either I don't fix it and you keep all your memory, or I do fix it and you lose all your memory. I'm like, are you dead serious? He's like, yes. I'm like, and I'm a G, so I was like, you know what? I'm a Thanos this thing. Lose the memory. I got to do it all over again. No problem.
I'll get it all back.
I'll get it all done. People got to do what things they don't want to do.
Oh,
kind of like what Dino said.
That would hurt.
His finger,
If I can't imagine losing all the memory. I'm a baby over here. I can't imagine it. There's so much on there. There's so many games that I haven't finished that I'm like halfway through. I don't want to do all that again.
This is Mon Green. You're an amazing running back. Thank you. You deserve it, Yo Jacket. I appreciate it. I think it's coming. It's coming soon. I have been nominated, so that means I'm on the list to go in and just I don't know what year. We need to do it. We need to do a contest or something. Find out, and the people. I'll think about it because I don't want to get myself in.
We'll do the contest. You're not allowed to think about it. You sit there and be Ahman. We'll us non superheroes. We'll deal with that.
Gotcha. Oh, there you go. He's in. And then Rico, you could throw this. Hold on. Let's bring my man in, Kevin. He's in. Hey, Kev, how you doing?
Hey guys, am I early?
Hey. Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. I think man, what time did you think?
I thought it was in like 4 minutes, but I didn't know if you guys needed to do any like mic checks or like camera.
No, we I moved it up to 6:30 thinking because you said 6:30, so I was like, oh,
Gotcha.
so don't worry about it though.
I do realize because daylight savings went into effect, and that's probably where a lot of the mix-up comes from. Hawaii, we don't have daylight savings, and I think that's where the we got into some problems. But
there it is.
I'm glad to be here.
All right, so I'm gonna have Rico finish up here on our game release of the week real quick, and then we'll get into our interview and talking and everything.
Awesome, sounds
all right?
good.
So, all right, so you can listen and watch real quick while
For
Rico
sure.
breaks down his game of the week.
Cartel
There you go.
Tycoon. I saw the word cartel and I immediately said, "That's the game I want to do." That was it. I hadn't read into it until a little bit ago, but Cartel Tycoon reminds me kind of if anybody's ever played like Zoo Tycoon or City Tycoon or something like that. That's what this is.
But I know
Except you're a drug lord. You're a drug lord. It's set in the fictionalized 80s Latin America. Cartel Tycoon tells the story of a time during which the cartels took over the U.S. and the whole world. Ridiculously rich drug kingpins rule their glorious empires while creating thousands of jobs, but at the same time, maelstrom of violence envelops this criminal world. So what you get to do in this game, you get to grow your drug empire in the late 80s, dealing various goods. Tycoon action of an epic scale with dozens of upgrade paths and endless strategic combinations. Run huge logistical systems out of your farms, labs, warehouses, workshops, research centers, and delivery lines. Death is inevitable, but lieutenants with unique traits will take over for the drug lord before them. And you get to what your goal to do. Your goal is to take over this fictionalized city, this fictionalized nation, and be a drug lord and be able to, sell drugs and build your empire out of this place that you have created. There are police involved, and you'll have to deal with governments and opposing cities in which you'll have to decide if you want to partner with them or if you want to take over their places. So there's the chance that you could lose all of your power at that and then have to restart the whole thing. So it's just, like I said, it's like City Tycoon, and it looks very fun. I tell you what, it looks like an amazing time.
A little bit of GTA.
For any of those people that have ever thought, you know what, I could do what El Chapo did, here's your chance.
Virtually, you don't have to spend our criminal time.
You don't have to go out and hurt anybody or spend any of your own money aside from the money that you need to buy the game. That's it.
There you go. Oh my god, GTA at its finest. It has now spread over to basically The Sims.
Exactly, it's GTA meets The Sims. That's exactly
what this is. GTA meets The Sims. It's like it's there. Oh man, it's a game, y'all, too. Don't take it serious.
Yeah, and like it said, you can either sell your drugs out in the open, or you can keep it secret, or try to keep it secret and try to hide from everything. Or you can just be like, look, I'm doing this, try to stop me, and try to build up your army, your military might to keep people from stopping you from doing what you're doing and making this cartel.
Right. Awesomeness. So again, have fun, but don't take it too serious, okay?
Yeah, if you're successful in the game, don't do it in real life.
Yeah, don't say, "Oh, I could do this." No,
you're like, "Oh, that was easy. Let me try it."
Don't do it. Please don't. All right.
Hey, if I ever become a drug cartel mafia boss, I'll never tell anybody, and nobody will ever know. But there will be signs.
Are you gonna be walking around with the polyester shirts with the chest wide open?
There will be signs. You'll have to find out.
The routine drug dealers have. They have the polyester
chains unbuttoned
with the gold chains or the chains hanging out. That's where my man Rico. Oh man! So thank you for that big share right there. All right, we'll get on to my man Kevin M. Nagian. If I'm saying that correctly, am I saying that right? Oh, he's back. There, he got unmute. Yep, there you go.
Shoot, hello. That is my fault. It's actually just Win. I know it looks weird.
Win.
Yeah.
Kevin M. Win, who is the University of Hawaii's pro esports program assistant, and happy to have you on the show. So big time zone difference, and I did mention. I did see. I did saw the part. I was like, he's worried about that daylight saving time. I could
Yeah.
tell, and so that kind of threw you off a little bit, and that's okay. It don't matter. We roll with the punches here. So
Hey,
you're
whatever happens,
good.
happens.
You're good to go. Whatever happens, happens. This is my co-host Rico. This is Kevin. Kevin, say hello to the chat as well. Average historian, Sith Lordy, the bear fan, and we got Goldfish in the house. Goldfish. That's simple.
How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me, and I'm just a little curious about like what your involvement is in esports. So I guess, Ahman, I just looked you up.
Yeah.
All-time leading rusher for the Packers. That's nuts to me, and it's I don't know. It's rare for me to even get to talk to a professional athlete,
Right.
let alone an all-time leading rusher. That's wild, and I wouldn't have thought that someone who played in the NFL would now become the director of esports at a university, right? It's
right.
And I love traditional sports too. I grew up watching a lot of basketball, and in college I started watching the NFL. But most of the times you see a little bit of overlap, but I guess you don't see the full transition of, hey, I'm a esports athlete, I'm going to go fully into being a pro athlete and vice versa. So I guess I'm just curious, like, yeah, what made you interested in pursuing the collegiate route, or like, did you play games as an NFL star? Like, how did you get here, you know?
Yeah. So doing something different, right? We got a special guest. He's interviewing me. I was like, let's do it.
Yeah. That's what he asked. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I was like, we could do that. So yeah, I've been a gamer since I was 5 years old. I started with ColecoVision, and my dad had brought home. He was an IT. He worked in the IT department at an aviation place in California, Los Angeles, where I grew up. Born in Nebraska, but grew up in Los Angeles. And the Apple II is what got me on the PC. That was my first PC. I helped my dad fix it because he told me, hey, if you press this button, you turn it on, and let me show you how you navigate with the mouse to click the game, and you click the game and it turns on. And the first game I played was Oregon Trail, and the second one was Carmen Sandiego. And so ever since then, I had consoles around me in my house and computers laying around, or computer parts, I'll say, laying around, because my dad was always working on them. And so Zaxxon and Donkey Kong was my first games, and then Nintendo was my next console from there. So from age 5, I was grinding it out and playing games all night. Legend of Zelda, Gyromite with Rob the Robot, you know, and then I was super excited. Obviously, was it Melee, or was it when Rob the Robot became a character on Super Smash Brothers?
It might be Brawl.
It might be Brawl or Melee, but I remember seeing that. And I'm like, oh, that's dope. I had the robot. I was like, now it's in the video. And just like, man, I'm old, you know. So, it kept going. I always had that spirit in me because, like, even though I was a traditional sport athlete growing up, where I was football, baseball, basketball, and track, that was my downtime. When I had nothing else to do, I would play video games, and I would play RPGs. I would play fighting games, everything, RPGs, fighting games, you know, horror games. It didn't matter. Me and my brothers would play. Once I moved back to Nebraska, one of my older brother, he would play stuff. I remember he got the Nintendo 64, and we were playing Mario Kart on that. And then he got the PlayStation when it came out, the first one. That came out in like 1995. I think I was a freshman in college. So how were you? Were you around, Rico?
I wasn't even born yet either.
Yeah, either one. You was 2. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's always been there, and it's the competition that brought me this far, because I saw how competition was growing in the esports space, and I was already coaching in the esport. I was coaching high school sports, so I was coaching football, baseball, and track. And then a local high school where I was living at that time. I'm in Houston now, but I was living in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And it was a local high school, Bayport High School, had an esports team. And through a friend, he was the superintendent of the district, and he knew that high school had it, and he asked me if actually one of the teachers reached out and said, "Do you have anybody that can help me coach?" And I had talked about it, you know, in a leadership program, our leadership class that I took, and just so happened that person referred me to the teacher that was looking to need some assistance in the esports program. And Overwatch had just came out. It only been out like a couple years in that time. It came out, you know, so the high school was playing at 2018. They won the championship that year, and so Overwatch only been out like 3 years, but I knew it very well because I was playing it a lot, and I just observed and watched practice for a couple of days, and then I was like, this is a good team. It's not much I got to do here. Like these kids right here, they know what they're doing in terms of playing Overwatch. And obviously in 2018, the meta was a lot different. It was 6 players. You had a main tank, you had an off tank at that time. Now you don't have that no more. You have one main tank, and then the rest you have, the DPS, off healer, main healer, off all that stuff. So. And it just went on from there, just word of mouth. Another friend of mine got me recommended to the Lakeland University, and I said to him, I said, "Give me everybody you know, give me all their emails, and I'm gonna send my resume, everything else, to them because I'm taking this serious. I'm not gonna hesitate to miss my opportunity." And then boom, it happened. And basically a month before COVID hit, that's when I got hired at Lakeland University, and my whole off season was COVID, but I was recruiting kids to the university. I was able to get 10 scholarships granted for that first off season in 2020, even though it was COVID, partial scholarships, but still a scholarship for kids. And the funniest conversations I had with most parents that year was kind of like you, Kev. You were like, I had parents like, why is Ahman Green talking to my 14-year-old daughter or Overwatch? I said, because I'm the esports head coach at Lakeland University. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, she does play a lot of Overwatch. I was like, yeah, that's why I'm talking. That's why I'm talking to you, though. You're the parent, It was funny. Yeah. So I had a few of those conversations to explain that, but it was just part of something. I have a goal. When I have a goal, I put stuff out in front, I write it down, I go for it, and I usually accomplish it for every goals I put out there for myself. And that was a goal. I wanted to be a coach. In college, first it was football, and later on it became esports like it did. And then now I'm in where I played ball at and went to school at University of Nebraska Lincoln, and I'm the director of esports / head coach because I still like to get my hands dirty coaching with the players, being in practice, helping them get better, helping them just master the game like I mastered my game of football. I knew how to train myself. I knew how to listen to coaches. I knew how to become the best all-around player, not just on the field, but like I said, all-around teammate as well, because it's a team sport. Football is team sport, just like any other FPSs and RTS out there, like League of Legends and Dota. I don't coach Dota, but I do coach help out with League of Legends. I have in the past, but just having that mindset of knowing what I learned on the football field and playing baseball and running track. I said it's not much different. The only thing that's different is I just got to switch out the game. Like football is football, but how you play it, how you practice it every day, that's the same idea you will put towards League of Legends. You put towards Overwatch. You're going to work out every day. You're going to train your shooting. You're going to learn the maps, know the call outs, know the hiding spots, know the peak spots, know the headies, know your loadout, how to put the best stock, the best scope on your gun if it's Call of Duty, things of that nature. So I'm like, that's a habit that has to get trained, is consistently doing the same thing over again to be better than the next person. And it's a mental thing too, because you got like a game like League of Legends, it's like playing chess. You got to understand your role, bot, mid lane, top lane, and then you got to understand what characters go where. You can't just pick a character and be like, oh, I'm gonna go mid laner with Darius. It's like, okay, I'm not sure that's gonna be a good idea. So I'm a student of the game like I was with football. I mean, I learned the ins and outs. I knew just as much as my quarterback knew. So I try, my kids, they're, esports players are already high functioning people. They're 3.0s and higher. And so it's not really much I could show them, but the team dynamic I could teach them. And that's what I do. I've done my best at is teaching them how to be a team player, how to work with one another, regardless of your ranking. Because I get every night, players that are higher ranks, they kind of get like, I'm the best person in here, but I can't communicate, or I don't need to communicate with you. You got to be on my pace. And it's like, well, you can't do that sometimes because you might lose your teammates. So it's just that's my journey, and that's where I'm at, and that's where I'm gonna keep going. So, good question.
I want to touch on a couple points that I really love to hear. One was how you mentioned that you're there for the students. Like, yes, they know what they're doing. This is when you're talking about Overwatch, but I think when working with students, especially at an early college age, you still realize some of them they're still kids at the end of the day. Like they haven't really developed yet. And I guess it's like for you getting to experience that leadership in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
By year 9, 10, 11, you're getting new rookies and now you're teaching them the ropes. I can imagine this is the same way. It's like, hey, if you want to last over 3 years in this league, you can't take it easy. These are the things that I've done. This is the thing that I've observed. And I noticed that worked out in helping people have a long career, right? And so I just love the fact that you're just there. The fact that you're able to provide scholarships, and any scholarship I believe is good. Any way that we can remove barriers and obstacles to student success. I know we spoke to Jay and of GCU, and we share similar ideas and how we just want to make sure that we can support students as best as possible. And yeah, I just think, I don't know, I'm like fanboying in a little weird way. It's like a little cringe, but it's just cool that you're able to.
No, it's all good.
Take your leadership here, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, and then sorry, I do want to touch with Rico too. Like, how did you get here, and like your experience with like helping with this podcast or even esports?
Muted. Honestly, in the esports world, I am still a newbie. I am not too far into the esports world at all. I was lucky enough that when Ahman got the job at the University of Nebraska, our owner reached out to him about having a show on our radio station. And the first time he came in, I was like, oh my gosh, like Ahman Green is in our radio station right now. Like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. Like I get the chance to talk to an NFL running back. This is amazing. I was fanboying so hard. And then they mentioned, oh yeah, this was before I even realized that he was the esports coach. And they were like, oh yeah, by the way, he's the esports coach. And I go, wait a minute, Ahman Green's playing video games? Yo, hold on.
All day, baby.
And they were like, yeah, that's what he's here for. And I was like, okay, hold on. And then we just started talking about video games, and I was like, okay, this is awesome. Found out he had a podcast. Asked him if I could join, and I was a guest for the first episode. And then I was like, can I like be a part of the podcast? And he was like, yeah, sure. Like you can join, you can be a co-host. And I was like, awesome. Now I get to do a podcast with Ahman Green where I'm talking about video games. Like, what the heck? What is my life right now? Like, this is amazing.
Everything.
Exactly. So I was just kind of got lucky in the fact that he decided to come to Nebraska and be the esports coach, and then stop by our station to talk about potentially having a show. And now he's on our show, or on our station, and has a show, is a co-host on one of the shows. And in terms of like video games, I've been playing for as long as I can remember, but in the esports world, I'm still trying to learn some things and learn some new things and become a little more invested in esports and watch more of it. But it's just something that I've always found fascinating, that, you know, people can, you know, travel and play these games and do it in tournaments and big tournaments and get money. And a lot of people recognize them for all of these things. So, as I learn more, I get more and more invested into it, but I still have a long way to go before I even consider myself anywhere close to anything in knowledge in terms of esports.
Gotcha. That's so sick. And I guess like general question, like have any of you been to like a competitive esports event yet? And I'm not talking about like PAXs or like conventions.
I know what you're talking about.
Like an event itself.
You're talking about something like the CECC that's coming up in May.
Yes, that's in Texas.
Yeah, that's at the Arlington Esports Arena in Texas. I went to it last year, watched it in person. Awesome. And it's basically like, I said for you, Rico, it's basically like NCAA basketball, but it's video game. So
I've seen videos of it, but I've never been in person. So the next time Ahman goes, I might stuff myself in his carry-on.
There you go. So it is the best teams in the country at Overwatch, Valorant, Rocket League, Super Smash Brothers team play all together now. So it's going to be determining a single champion, not the NECC champion, not the ECAC champion, not the NA Star League champion, not the Play Versus champion. One champion. So they get the bid. So right now, my students, a couple of my players, five exactly, Smash Brother players that make up the Smash Brother team here in Lincoln. We're going to the basically the big esports conference that you know about, Rico, that we created with 16 Big Ten teams, are going to Columbus, Ohio for the championships. If we win that, that's our bid into, just like winning your conference. Traditional sports, if you win your conference, so we win our conference title, we'll have a bid down to Arlington to play in the CECC. The CECC stands for College Esports Commissioners Cup. So that'll be the national title run for any team in those 4 games. And they have high school tournaments going on at the same time in the building, which was amazing. At high school, at Rocket League going on, high school, at Super Smash Brothers, and Valorant outside the studio or outside the main stage area, which was high schools from all over the United States, North Carolina, New York, Miami, Atlanta, have all drove or flew in to compete. And that so you had high school and college teams all competing in this space. So it was pretty awesome. And so yes, been to a major event and about to go back. This is part of my job to basically go down there because there's other coaches from other teams. There's potential recruits I could reach out to, and just the opportunity just to experience that. And so, if you don't come, Rick, it'll be a lot of pictures I'll send to you.
Hey, you're taking me with you.
I'll take you with you.
You're taking me with you. All right, that's not. Yeah. This is not a conversation. This is happening.
And some places, yes, if Lordy, it says, wish we had esports when I went to college. I got chess club instead. Well, hey, chess is an online thing now too. For esports, they categorize that as an esports title. So
it will be in the Olympics as a heads
there
up.
You go.
Esports title.
Boom.
Like actually the Olympics. And so and for Rico, I'm gonna share a link in the chat if that's okay. There's a video called Our Game. I think it really encapsulates the idea of what esports is and the passion and the vigor behind it. Like the CECC is like the NCAA, but the video I posted is gonna talk about more of the professional side, and esports events themselves, I would consider an event because there's so few. They treat each title like a Super Bowl. So they usually have a show, a pre-show, a closing ceremony, right? Versus like if you're watching the NFL, they're not going to have a halftime show after every regular season game. They save it for the best show at the end of the year, right?
Correct. Yeah, like for the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I highly recommend just taking a look at that video when you have the time. It's just called Our Game, and it'll just really give you that little sneak peek into an esports event. And I would highly recommend just visiting whenever you get the chance. Usually Riot Games, they travel all around the country, and if there's one nearby, it's worth the event, and I would highly recommend it.
Got it. All right, Kev, for you, I got a question now. I got a couple questions.
Gotcha.
So this is usually the first question I ask to the guests of the show is, what is your gamer origin story? So that means, how old were you when you started playing games? Who was the person and the game that you got introduced to when you started your gamer origin story?
Gotcha.
Gamer journey.
Funnily enough, Sky, the director who couldn't make it, he was teaching a class today, and he asked me to present. And so this is my second time talking about this and my journey throughout esports. And so I started off growing up playing video games as a pastime. I grew up in an Asian family, and I have 12 aunties and uncles on each side of the family.
Oh, wow.
And so it's huge. But we're all first generation, so they all immigrated here from Vietnam. But we grew up playing like a Game Boy, and all my cousins were all similar ages. We grew up, we're just competing, playing on the GameCube, playing Melee. And it was just a general upbringing of like, hey, focus on school, but if you get good grades, you can get games. And that was a trade-off I was willing to take. And
that's one smart kid. There you go.
So like in high school, that's when I finally dipped my toes into getting a PC, and I played League of Legends. And I think growing up, I was like, man, I can be a pro. And I invested way too many hours. And it sucks that I have nothing to show for it, but I really thought I could go pro.
No, you do. Yeah, you got it.
No, well, compared to the kids I'm teaching now, I can't even compete. But I had this really strong conviction that, hey, I was going to be a pro player. And in those videos, Rico, that you watch, you're going to see why any kid at this time has this desire to go pro. But I quickly grew out of I didn't grow out of it. I just realized I'm not good enough. Like I just got to take a step back and like reevaluate, right?
Yeah.
And so I decided to enter college. And at this time, a lot of my family members, they're again, all similar age. They're all going to MIT. They're going to USC, these big name schools, to be an engineer. And so I thought, hey, I like math and science. I'm going to be an engineer too. It'll make my parents happy. And going through that, like the first couple years were pretty typical. But over time, I started losing my interest in like my major. I wasn't enjoying it as much. And so I thought like, hey, maybe it's time for me to reevaluate. And so my friends were trying to convince me, hey, you should talk to a counselor. But I still didn't want to. And I told the students this idea of the red pill, blue pill of, hey, do you want to chase that financial freedom? Like, do you want to chase that financial freedom, or do you want to chase your passion, something you love? And I still wanted to chase that financial freedom because I thought that was the safest way. But I was like, okay, let's sit down with this counselor. And they're like, hey, why don't you take a look at these different options? And so I did. I switched majors, and Sky, my director, was teaching a class, a general ed class that I needed to take in order to graduate on time. But the class was full, and I ended up begging. I was like, please let me in. Like I needed to take this. Also, I should also add, in physics, the reason why I swapped out was in year 3, I was taking physics 3. And the first day of class, my professor goes, hey, we're going to be reviewing quantum physics. And I look over at a friend, and I was like, wait, we're reviewing quantum physics? What do you mean reviewing? He's like, yeah, we learned this at the end of physics 2. And I was like, I need to get the hell out. Like, I do not remember even learning this. What do you mean reviewing this? And so I dipped. And that was the moment where, like, I had to get out. But the killer thing was I still wanted to take that blue pill. I wanted that financial freedom.
Right.
But I ended up getting into Sky's class, and he said, hey, like, I'm studying collegiate esports. And this is like 2016, 17, really early ages of college esports. I'm so arrogant. I'm like, what the hell do you mean college esports? Like, this is some fake stuff. Like, I didn't think it was real. And so he was like, we have to talk one-on-one for our papers. And so I come up to talk to him, and I'm like, hey, what is this college esports you're talking about? I've never heard of this. And he explains about his research at the big schools, Robert Morris University. They're the first.
Yep, they were one of the first. Yep.
And UCI, a really big growing.
California Irvine.
Yes.
Yeah, University of California Irvine. Yep.
Like,
Tesla. That's where Tesla was.
Exactly. Yes.
Yep.
Damn, you know your stuff. And so.
That's what got me going too.
And so I was like, this is my opportunity. And if I don't seize this, I'm gonna lose out. And so he decided, okay, like I just said, hey, I want to help out in any way possible. And so through that, I worked with him to coach our League of Legends team. Again, I come from no coaching experience, but I was like, hey, I gotta learn, I gotta work with our students, and I gotta make sure I do a great job, as it's my responsibility. And then I started to, then he connected me to Corsair, in which they were starting a college ambassador program. And through that program, they each had a project for different campuses. And I decided, hey, let's build a college club on campus, because every time it happens, they always die out. And I was like, I want to make something that lives long before I graduate. And so by doing that, the university was slowly getting the idea of, oh, wow, there's a lot of kids who actually like games. I've never seen this before. Colleges love retention. They love students staying on campus and enjoying the festivities. And they're like, this is working. And also at this time, Fortnite was blowing up. There's $3 million prize pools. And these parents are like, yo, what is going on? Like, do I got to invest in this? And so I said, hey, like, I want to work with our students. Let's build out the club. And through that, I was lucky and fortunate enough that I was able to get a full-time job here at the university. And now it's my role and my job just to make sure that I continue to pave that pathway for students in the future, so that they understand what's out there, right? And I'm pretty sure you know now that esports is not just gaming. There's so many different career opportunities out there. There's production, coaching, analytical work, marketing, content,
everything.
You name
Social media, everything.
Yeah. But these kids don't know that. And it's like, okay, yes, you might not be number one on the League of Legends ladder, but we can find you a different role. Like, let's help you explore. Let's break those barriers. Let's provide that platform for these kids, right? And so, that's the journey. It's, if I didn't seize that opportunity, if I didn't swap out of engineering, I don't know what I'd be doing. Like, I don't, and that's the scary part. And so I think, like, ultimately, I always tell the students now, like, originally I asked that question, the red pill or blue pill. There's now a purple pill. You can now have both, but you have to put in, you could take both. You have to put in the time. You have to be able to take that time to grow your hard and soft skills. You have to learn and try and fail. But
True.
I think a lot of people just go halfsies on either one pill, and you're just gonna fail. Like, you have to be willing to be, hey, look, this is gonna be a grind. I'm gonna mess up, but that's okay. You got to push through and learn. And yeah, that's pretty much like my journey.
Awesome journey, man. And
that's a great journey.
Yeah, and then for the last few notes that you said was that grind, man. You got to grind through it. You know, I'm grinding through it now. It's my 5th year overall coaching collegiate esports and my 2nd school. And, you know, I made the decision to, you know, come here, you know, leave Lakeland, come here, which was a hard leave because the students, we you know, that was my first place. That was the first. And so we had a nice little connection among some of the team, a lot of the players and a lot of the team captains, because the team captains, those were my assistant coaches. They were the team managers. And so getting close with them was a hard leave. But then knowing that I'm going to leave that place better than I left it. That's what because I taught all them kids what I know about leadership, what I know about accountability, same things you were talking about. And then the grind part, like when you know you want to do something, like I tell people, I mentioned, I use the analogy. I mean, I love Matrix, by the way. So thank you for that. You, my guy, next to this guy, between Rico and you is like, he didn't mention the red and blue with Morpheus. Oh, he knows better. He knows
like,
that.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. And then now you got to tell me later on. Able to handle that one or not, but but just knowing and teaching them that hard work is going to get you through it, and don't give up, basically, because a lot of kids today want to like you said, they want to cheat. Either they want to cheat, they want to do it halfway, and I did it, and like, no, you didn't do it at all, bro. You still got a whole semester to go. You still got to do this over there. It's not complete yet, so letting them know that.
Example is,
okay, what you got?
Is like, I think everyone can agree Steph Curry has changed basketball, and now every kid is trying to chuck a 3-pointer.
Right.
But they don't know how many man hours he puts into just getting that 3-pointer down. Like, he's probably shot over 100,000 threes, but kids expect to get it in 30 minutes. And it's just not possible.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, that's where you start with 30 minutes a day. You know, you start with 30 minutes a day. An hour here, then it goes to 45 minutes, then it goes to an hour, then you're out. Then eventually, once you're at that 10,000 hour mark, you've been out there for 3.5 hours, 6 days a week, grinding. And then you start doing stuff that everybody's asking you, how did you do that? Like, oh my God, how did you do that? Because I remember when I was playing ball and some of the stuff I did on the football field, I couldn't even answer the question. I just reacted to the guy. I saw a guy in front of me, and it's either one, run him over, or two, go around him. That was it. And I reacted.
And you decided to do a lot of both. That's what you decided to do. You decided to perfect both of those things. I mean, people forget, like you're mentioning Steph Curry. It's like, it's not like he was born shooting a 3-pointer. It's not like he was always that good. I mean, he went to Davidson, for goodness sake. It's not like his brother ended up going to, what was it, Duke, or he went to Duke. So it's like he had that going for him. Seth Curry was great in high school. Steph Curry was pretty good in high school, was good enough to get a scholarship out of college, but he went to Davidson, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
And then through the man hours, through the time that he invested and put into perfecting his craft, he was able to get drafted. He was able to become the best 3-point shooter of all time and become a champion. So it's all of the time behind the scenes where people don't see what you're doing. People don't see that you're the one that opens the gym up and turns the lights on. They don't know that you're the one that ends up turning the lights off at the end of the day, or you're the one, lifting weights when everybody else is out partying. They don't know when that's happening. So that's the type of man hours that you're talking about, going through and taking that purple pill and deciding, look, I'm going to put in all of this time to do this and gain this financial freedom while also doing something that I love to do.
100%. I know, and you mentioned how you said you want to take the obstacles out of the way of the students, and doing that is going to be one, like you mentioned, teaching the kids that, hey, you're going to have to work for what you want. Even if it's not coaching in esports, maybe it's something else in engineering or law or business management or somewhere, you're going to have to put forth that effort, and it's not going to just be handed to you. I say that's one, telling them that, like telling them the real. And that's what the whole purple, red, blue pill is about. is seeing what you see and is seeing the realness of it, and that you're going to get this out of it. It's not going to be easy. You got to be ready for that. That's the shocker. It's not going to be easy, and everybody's like, huh? Like I didn't just do what I just did. For example, prime example, you started when you came in the chat. I didn't become the all-time leading rusher just because. I became because it started when I was 6 years old playing flag football.
Mhm.
And then the next 2 years passed. Then I started playing tackle, and then my brother said to me when I was about the young age of 10 years old, hey, if you're going to play football and you're going to be a running back, the only people you better depend on is the offensive line, because you are nothing without them. And when they said that to me, and I'm 10 and I'm just learning how to play football, how to do certain things, and they're like, you better, I said, when you get old enough, you better make sure you thank your lineman every time you run the rock.
Yeah.
Because that's who makes your day easy. And then quarterbacks, and then wide receivers, tight ends, pass blocking downfield or catching the big play to make the run game a lot easier. It all coincides with each other. So before I can even, drive a car, I knew, if anything, take care of my brothers on the football field, because regardless of how many yards I get, I'm not the guy. They are. They make me the guy because of what they do. And so, and that's what, like, you kind of transfer. We talked about, you mentioned earlier, teaching the esports players that, like, you're only best tank in Overwatch because you have a support that's healing you. You have DPS that's causing damage on the other side of the map. And then you have the off tank doing their job too. So you have all five players working in unison in this game. And same with Valorant. You looking for the heady and getting caught, all that. No, you can't do that, because you got to know your role and stick back and wait till your IGL says, hey, we got to push now into the area. Let's go. And we go together. And so being a team player, that was my biggest thing that I focused on. Other than taking care of my body, that was my next big thing, making sure that my teammates knew that I would have their back. They would have mine and I would have theirs. And so that's where I say, I agree, kind of your question, taking the obstacles out of the kids' way is showing what they already have to do and telling them it's in them. They got to do that. Actually, it's not, you having to hit the perfect shot right now. It's like, no, just be a teammate. You're going to learn all that stuff as you grow within the network of your team and the teams you're around and coaches that are coaching you. You'll learn all that, but just be a team player first, and you can learn everything else, getting into your spot as you get older.
I do want to chime in too. Like,
yeah, what's up?
I love that you mentioned that the O-line provided, right? They made that space for you. But like I always thought both the O-line, and I was going to say this before you mentioned it too, the O-line and the running backs are always, they have the thankless jobs. They sacrifice their bodies. And
oh yeah,
I think you can look back on it now. It's like, damn, I took some hits, but someone's got to do it every once in a while. And it's a hard task, because no one wants to be that guy that's, you don't want to sacrifice your numbers. You want to pad the stats a little. Like, I'm pretty sure at no point in your career, I don't know, but maybe at no point in your career, my guess is like, you never even knew about the all-time leading passer stuff. You just did your job, right? It was just, hey,
I wasn't a records guy.
The goal was always, I'm going to try and win a Super Bowl. And that's what 100%. We need to hear sometimes, because everyone else is like, oh, if I get that extra 1 yard per game, my contract goes up a little bit more. It's like, no, like, this is not how you're going to win a team game. You have to play as a team, right? You have to play as one unit, and you have to make sacrifices every time you need to.
Yeah.
And so I just love hearing your story of like, hey, look, like, the O-line made that space for me. And like, you can always reiterate that to your students, because that's something that you can talk about firsthand experience, right?
Yeah. Yep, for sure. I'll say one story, then we'll move on to some one more question and get to our what's on stream coming up next. Quick story. If I think I had it in my brain, and now it popped out.
I guess here I'll ask a question if that helps. I guess, like, how did you manage your playing career while also playing games? Because I always thought, like, you talk about how many hours, right, to be a professional at your craft, and it's like, wait, this guy knows his stuff about games. Like, as I'm hearing you talk, it's like, oh, this is not just like, oh, I'm just doing the job for my, managerial or coaching stuff. It's like, no, like, he knows the game itself, which is always going to be helpful, right?
Yeah. So during my career, the only games I've probably heavy invested in was RPGs, because they were were kind of my relaxation from like a big game, win or lose. It was an intense. It was physical, and so I love playing GTA. I love playing Assassin's Creed, like Hitman, Resident Evil. So and then I played Madden, but I wasn't great at it. And so when I would go to a Madden Bowl, I would get destroyed. I would totally.
That's so funny, actually.
Because I wouldn't put time into it because I was playing real football. It's like, I'm not. Madden is not paying the bills right now.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm an NFL player. That's what Green Bay Packers, Seattle Seahawks, Houston Texans, they were paying the bills. So I'll tell you, my worst game in Madden when I played in my career was at a Madden Bowl in San Diego. Was it San Diego? No, it wasn't that one. No, it was in Houston. And Willis McGahee, he was my opponent. The running back for Miami, played for the Ravens, played for, where else he played, Rico?
Browns.
Cleveland Browns. He beat me so bad. He beat me, I think the score was 107-7. Destroyed me. And I knew right there, I was like, I can't wait till I can't wait till I retire. Because when I retire, I'm putting all my heart and soul, like I did into football, into Madden. It's about to, and that's what's happening right now. So
You should keep that score a secret.
nah, you know what? It built me up. It got this right here. That was 10, 20 years ago now. But yeah, that was the worst and will not happen again with other players. But yeah, it was something, like I said, I couldn't invest in it because I was doing my actual job. But now since I'm out of it, I put in the time. Like I jumped into aim labs. I jumped into my Halo, that's my favorite shooter, and do the gallery drills first before I go into gameplay. Right now, I think I'm at a goal 4, goal 6, not real high, but I could get better. And Valorant, I'm not even mouse and keyboard up until last summer or 2 summers ago, and now I am. So I'm learning bit by bit, even though I'm coaching during the school year. So I'm practicing what I'm preaching about consistency and trying to get in there. Obviously, I only have so much time in the day to do what actually play, but I gotta coach up, be in the Discord. The good thing is we're on spring break right now, so we can I could kind of get away and play a little bit. But then I got a 4-year-old daughter running the house now too. So that's all as it comes. But I know summer will be here soon, and that's when I kind of get my time in to either go to cons. I go to PAX East next week, and there's a coaching convention going on in the same city in Boston. So I get to meet up some of my counterparts of around the world of esports and see them and talk to them and get best practices shared there. So that's where I'm just repurposing my grind, repurposing that, becoming better coach at Overwatch, a better coach at League of Legends, Rocket League. I know very well. I played that too. Overwatch, I played a lot, and I know that the thing with Overwatch, you gotta, and really the thing of all video games, you gotta know the meta because it always gets changed. Every 2 to 3 months, there's a new meta.
Some games, right? With esports and compared to like traditional sports.
Exactly. You get rule changes in the off season of football, baseball, basketball, but it's never like, oh, football is gonna weigh 10 pounds now. And let's just see if you could throw it. That's like fun. Yeah, it's like, what?
All right, now everybody's cleats have rockets on them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna give everybody speed. Everybody's running 4.240. It's buffed up, so you don't have that in traditional sports, but in esports you do. And when that happens, you got to teach your players, hey, you don't own the company, you got to play the game. And you just got to learn the meta and go with it. You could be mad at Riot, you could be mad at Epic, you could be mad at EA, but you got to play the game. They created the differences, so now we got to adjust. I got to know, you got to know, and you got to go out there and try to do your best until you get to master it again. And then if they change it again, then you got to master it, do it again. It's going to be frustrating, but you got to have that mindset there. So I'm going to get on to the process. You already kind of hit some stuff. I'm going to hit you with a last questions here. So what is the one thing that you guys, I'll say not one thing, what's going on for yourself at the University of Hawaii in the next few months to a year from now?
We're in the process of building our second arena.
Nice.
We're renovating our one of our libraries, and it's going to be the Student Success Center. And
Awesome.
So within that, we're going to make it into a new media space in which our students can play from. It's pretty a rare opportunity for a college campus to get 2 esports spaces. I know
we don't have one yet. So
yeah, I know that's usually one of the like when I talk to other programs, it's like, hey, what's the
help us.
obstacle? It's like, oh, just getting a space, right?
Right.
Like just as an example, when I was a senior here, I was vying and I was asking everywhere, like, hey, can we get the space to?
That's what I'm doing right now.
And like there was a storage room. It was a former games room that became a storage room, and I was like, hey, can we use this? And they're like, no, we want to keep our storage space here. I think it's just ridiculous. Like, come on, guys, we can find something else. But at the end of the day, COVID actually helped us because the space I'm in now, it's a 2,500 square feet building that's just ours, just for esports and gaming. And it's a place for students to come in, hang out, play games in between classes, and connect with people, right? Not everyone is going to be in a frat or a sorority. Like, I want to make sure that I can give students a place that they can call home at the end of the day. And so now we're trying to build out our second spot and just make sure that we continue our goal of helping students.
Nice. Yeah. That's awesome. That is awesome. Rico, you got anything before we wrap?
No, I think you hit on most of it. I have nothing. I just wanted to, the joke that I like to make, and it's not really a joke, it's 100% serious, is if I was in any esports or if I was good enough to be recruited Division 1 for school, my favorite thing is if Hawaii offers me, I'm there. Like, I don't care. I don't care if I have offers. If I'm playing football in Alabama, Nebraska, Ohio State, if all those schools offer me, if Hawaii offered me, I'm there. I don't care. I'm not going to Columbus or Tuscaloosa. I'm not staying in Lincoln. I'm going to Hawaii.
That's a good sell. That's a good sell. We got beach.
And now you mean to tell me that they'll have 2 esports arenas? Like, bro, what else do you need?
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, I talked about this too. I graduated high school in 2015, and esports scholarships started popping up in 2016. And I always had remorse. I was like, man, if I had been born a year later, I could have had those esports scholarships. I could have got to college in the mainland. But I actually want to share this anecdote too. Like, I'm very happy with the fact that I went to my university. This was not my first choice. Like, I think for a lot of people, you don't want to go to your home state or home college.
You want to go out and explore.
You want to go to you want to go to the promised lands. And I thought if I had went to like UCI, I would have
Northwoods or Boise State, something like that. Yeah.
Then I realized, like, I was very grateful that I got to go to UH because I got to build something. I got to start something from scratch and learn. If I'd went to UCI, I would have just been a cog in a machine, Like, I would have they would have told me what to do. Here's X, Y, Z, and I wouldn't have learned. Whereas here, I got to go through difficult times. I got to make mistakes, and I got to trial. But at the end of that journey, I became a better person. I became a much better individual, and now I can relay that information to my students.
Awesome. And so, since you just mentioned it, if you don't mind sharing, what was one of those difficult moments that you had?
I think it was just starting a club. Like, you don't realize how much work and effort. And I think you can talk about this too. When you were a player, there was so much stuff behind the scenes that just help you be a player, right? Like, they know you just want to be the best running back possible. And so there's people behind the scenes, and us as fans, we will never hear about them unless they do an interview where they're like, hey, we want to thank XYZ. But now I want to be those XYZ people. I want to make sure that, hey, I give you that platform to rise up rather than be that person in front of the spotlight. Like that's just not for me. I just want to make sure that these kids just can find that next platform and find that opportunity if they enter UH.
Yeah. And that's something I've experienced as a coach where, and you said this the whole time you talked, you said how you got to get the kids to believe what you're telling them that's out there. These jobs are available. This is opportunity here. They're there. All you got to do is you got to work a little harder just to get there. Or I could connect you, but then once I connect you, you got to do the work. And so it's just them believing. And I think that comes from all the, as we hear about it, fake news in the social media, on the internet, that they read about stuff and about the pros or their superstars, about them and what happens and what they go through. So then it puts that doubt inside of them, and then they don't realize that they're actually self-sabotaging themselves from excellence, from success. When you just say, hey, you know what, I want to do that, I'm gonna go do it. And then sometimes you get lucky enough, somebody could show you the steps to do that that opportunity. And then right now, like I said, the kids are programmed to kind of look at it like, oh, I can't do that. When it's like, no, you can. You only have one more 2 steps to get there, and then boom, you're there. Because I had said this to a few of my players at Lakeland. Like I knew one player that I said you could be on a Call of Duty pro team right now, because I know Call of Duty pros, and I seen them work out or train. You do just as better as they do. You just got to believe in yourself. And he's like looking at me, no, coach, you just saying that because you're my coach. No, if I was a scout right now for any esports org that played Call of Duty, from Optic to FaZe to Fnatic, I'd be like, hey, sign this kid up right now, because that's how good you are. I seen you hit shots. I seen you know the map. I seen you do things that I've only seen the pros do. What's his name? I know Optic Gaming, a few players off of there. I've seen those players play, and I've seen you do the same thing. So you got to trust in it. And I think a lot of esports, some players, not all, but some, definitely don't have that confidence to move, push the envelope for themselves and to get themselves there. So then, hey, so good job, man.
Question?
Oh yeah,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Like, I'm very curious. So
yeah,
you had a long. Sorry, I know I'm talking a lot, but I just want to pick your brain. Like, this is so interesting. You've had a long and great career at in the NFL, and you've probably made more than enough, right, for your lifetime. But like now that you have this opportunity, I'll say, like, now that you have that financial freedom, does that give you that freedom, right, to be like, hey, I can put in my all without having to worry about the finances of it all? Or is it still like a hard balance for you?
I say, when you say hard balance, what do you mean balance between what?
Like if you had the choice between like picking a school where you see like ambitious kids, you see a program that's willing to grow versus a program that's like, hey, we're going to pay you a decent chunk of money.
Oh, gotcha,
kind of like, kind of awful. And I'm not saying awful in terms of playing, but like awful attitudes. They have egos. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you've made enough. Now it's like, hey, I want to invest in these kids because I can see the best growth. I can see the best for myself, and I can see the best learning opportunities.
I would say to that, like, I'm a good glutton for punishment, right? So I don't shy away from contact. Physical contact. So if I don't shy away from physical contact, what's made you think I'm gonna shy away from a couple knuckleheads that think they're the top 500 in the game of what?
That's awesome.
I'm not gonna be scared to try to coach them, because then I'm gonna really dig in, be like, all right, I got a kid that thinks he's top 500 in League of Legends, or he probably is. You know what? He thinks, he knows, he sees it on the website, but I gotta convince him or them or her of, hey, you got teammates around you. And if you don't have their respect or their accountability, or somebody, or they don't even like, just say this, they don't like you, it's a problem. Then you will not be the best 500 player in the world, because nobody's going to support you in your role, because this is a role-playing game in League of Legends or Overwatch or Valorant. If you don't do what the IGL says, or if you're the IGL and then nobody listens to you, what do you think is going to happen in that game? A lot of losing. A lot of losing. So I'll say that because I'll say a little faced it every now and then in coaching for my 5 years coaching in esports. So I'm not, if I do find a group of kids that are like 100% passionate, and they might be a couple good ones and some kind of okay, I'm like, I'd rather have that crowd, because I know they're going to put some work in. They're going to listen to me. I'm not trying to say I know everything, because I don't. I always say that. I said, look, I don't know everything, but I do know teamwork and how that works. And so if they could say to me, say, coach, yes, I'm gonna listen and I'm gonna do my best, that's all I want. I say, if you listen and you're gonna do your best every time we're out in practice, or if you're all in the game, that's all I need from y'all, because that's where I know you're gonna have progress every day on the game, whatever game that is you play. So that's what I ask for my players. That's it.
That's awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Kev. Man, good job, Rico. All right, we're gonna get to, I don't know if you got to cut and run, but if you don't, you can sit in and you do
have to cut and go.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
I just want to say, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I love being able to pick your brain. Like it's pretty rare for like people to get that opportunity just to pick an NFL player's brain, and let alone like NFL player into esports. I think that's sick. And I know a lot of like current athletes nowadays are getting more and more involved with games and anime, and it's becoming a much more much more a common occurrence. And so, I just love seeing that you're supporting these kids, and I appreciate it so much. Thanks for having me.
Hey, you're welcome, Kevin. Win, so and appreciate you, and good luck with everything in this season of all your teams. And
thank you so much.
Maybe
Yeah, have a good night.
Hey, you too. Have a good night.
Yep.
Alrighty. Good talk.
Yeah,
Great talk.
great. That
Great
was
talk.
awesome.
And man, and he came in hot. I was like, oh, he wants to ask
He was
questions.
ready. He
to
was
us.
ready.
I was like, yeah, what's up, Goldfish? He said, man, you're the man. As a Packer fan, it's a joy to see you in the coaching realm, sharing with your insight to help elevate your guys. Thank you for what you did for the Packers in your day. Go Pack Go for sure. You're welcome there, Goldfish, and great simple name. Awesome. Just Goldfish. This
Goldfish.
fish. Bam.
Goldfish. Boom.
All right, Rico. You ready for quick hitting news bite? Or I'm sorry, what's on stream?
What's on stream? You know what's funny is that me and like before you guys decided to watch this show, me and my wife started watching this show.
Yeah, John. It was John's idea. He thought.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
great, and we started watching it because my wife is obsessed with Donald Glover.
How did I know? How did I know?
Loves him. Oh, hey, I got a visitor.
Oh, hello.
Oh, I got two visitors. Hold on. Give me a second. Come here, you.
How you doing?
Oh, hold on. Sit up.
Daddy, is that your book?
Oh, look.
Yep. And then we going into what's on stream here.
Row your boat gently up the... sorry. Excuse me. It's time for what's on stream.
All right. Like Rico was saying, he got the crew there now with him.
Can
so
you guys
we
say
got...
hi to Uncle Ahman?
Hi, Uncle Mom.
Hi.
Hi.
We're talking about video games and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
So,
Yeah.
Okay, can you guys say good night?
No.
I gotta finish this up and then I'll put you guys and then I'll come upstairs, okay?
No.
Yeah, really quick. Yeah, Mom says that Dad needs to talk about Donald Glover.
yes.
It'll be okay.
We'll be right back. We'll be almost done.
We'll be right back, I promise. Say bye. Say see you. Say see you, dude.
See ya.
That's awesome.
Go ahead. Go.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Oh man. All right, here we go. We got it up and running now. So we on episode 3 already. We're moving along. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Spoilers ahead, as it said on the screen. So they are in the Italian, what's it called? Dolomites? Italian Dolomites. It can't be Dolomites.
No, it's not Dolomites.
I wish it was Dolomites.
Yeah. Oh, it is. No, it is Dolomites. Little town in the Italian Dolomites.
So they're up in the mountains on a mission here. And they're scoping out a couple here who is actually having some marital issues once they start listening into their conversation. So they have to follow the family or the couple. They're actually family. They have their son there too.
Mm-hmm.
And find out. And then they got to copy their cellular phones. So that means they got to get in close. But as you see here now, remember episode 1, Rico, where they were barely touching each other, or they made a rule.
Yeah, they were like, "We're not doing it.
We're not doing it. We're not going to have sex. We're not going to kiss. We're not going to do any of this."
Mm-hmm.
And it only took them one episode.
Yeah, it took them. They went on like one mission, and they were like, "You know what?
Forget all this. I'm getting hot and bothered. Like, what's up? What's really going down?
We're in this house. We're married. So I mean."
Like what's going to go?
Yeah.
So they made that pact got broke, but it was both a mutual decision, So I think that's good. And now, like I said, so the conversation you saw on the gondola that opened the scene, that's where Donald got busted because remember at the start of the episode of this series where Hi, the guy on the little monitor there says, you got to cut all ties. Family, friends, gone. You can't talk to him ever again. But he did not do that. He got caught by Jane talking to his mother. And of course, she's like, what the F? Da, 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 da. He's like, I know you talk to your dad. She's like, nope.
She said, nope, cut him off.
But also what she said was, my dad might have molested me. He's like, oh man, that's messed up. Like, look, gave her that messed up look.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, he didn't, but he's like, wait a minute.
She's like, but if he could have.
Like, you can't say that and then take it away, basically. That's what you. So yeah, you're at a point where they're intimate now, and they're getting more interpersonal conversations with one another because, and then where this scene at is where he had to shoot off somebody that tried to hijack one of the couple, the wife actually, and he had to fight his way up out of there.
Yeah, they were told specifically. They were told that they had to copy the phones and nothing else. They didn't have to do anything else. But
Yes.
the way that they copied the phones was she was talking to the husband, he was talking to the wife, and then he saw the wife get kidnapped, and he's like, "Well, I got to save her now." So he goes out and gets into a shootout to save her,
Yeah.
and gets stuck out in the snow and is kind of
Almost
frozen.
froze to death.
Yeah, and she brings him back and warms him up, and at that time, like you said, they've been getting intimate. They're getting closer. They're starting to have feelings for each other. Well, at that time, she realized, he could have died, and she realizes, I think I actually really like this guy that I'm fake married to,
Right.
and that's when things probably start going on between them, where they're just like, okay, like this is real, like this might be real.
And they are being boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife esque.
Mhm.
You're not having that conversation without me, are you? Like type of comments, especially
Yep.
when Jane, Maya Erskine's character, finds out that you're speaking to your mom. What? And then she got a little snotty, right?
Yep.
She got snotty with him. And yeah, that would be me on skis, just so y'all know.
Yeah,
Full
he doesn't.
disclosure.
He bought. She said, "You bought all this ski. You bought all the ski equipment." He's like, "Yeah, because
Can I
it
go
looks
back?
good," but he
Can I
doesn't
go?
know how to ski.
I'm gonna go backwards. Boom. That's me right there on the skis.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to ski, but
Hey,
he bought all of the equipment for them because he thought it looked cool.
he said I want to look fly. True story there. True story. My best friend from high school, Jono and Clark. They have one of their friends had a up in Aspen, Colorado. And I'm the only black friend up there. And just to
Yep.
say to keep the
Yep.
keep it real. And I told him from day one, I said I'm coming to Aspen because I've never been, but I'm not going skiing. I said, it's like, why not, man? It's so fun. I'm like, y'all probably had lessons. I ain't had lessons, okay?
I've
And
never
I
even put him
had
on. I don't
lessons.
know.
Even if I had lessons, it was a guy by the name of Sonny Bono. That, to me, what I heard was a professional level skier. And unfortunately lost his life to a pine tree in the mountains. I was like, if that was a professional level skier and he died running into a tree, I did not want that
Yeah. What do you think
thing
I'm
to
gonna do?
I do that. I'm like Donald Glover right there. I'm all over the damn place. Like,
Mhm.
nope,
Hard
not for
pass.
me. So you
Hard
know what
pass.
I did? I rolled the gondola up like you see them here,
Mhm.
riding up the gondola. And when I got to the top, you know what I did, Rico? Just to like not get that extra like I'm gonna do this type like energy, right? You know how you sometimes you like I'm not gonna do it, but then you get on the top, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. So it's
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah.
You know what I did to myself? I went to the edge of the top of the mountain that we were on, and
Yeah.
I looked down. I said, "Yeah, we good." Hell to the no. I am.
You're like, I'm out. This is not happening. This is not happening.
I said, "No, we good, boss. We good." I said, "If we want to bet on some money, I just lost all the money because I am not going down that hill. You couldn't melt and pour me in some skis and push me.
Oh, I
No.
get you. Yeah.
Woo. All right.
Yeah, I would try it.
No,
I would
no,
try
I
it.
wouldn't even try. That's the
I
only.
want to snowboard,
Now,
which
yeah,
is
I'll
worse.
snowboard if it's like in a snowboard area, but I'm not snowboarding down that hill that I saw.
I'd try it.
Aspen. Mm-mm.
I'd try it, but I'm dumb, so.
What does my man here say? Spine Tick says, looking forward to Donald Glover playing Spider-Man villain. Oh, that's right. Hypno Hustler. I remember that. He was in the scene years ago. He's gonna do his Marvel debut there.
Excited.
It says Ahman almost got 300 yards against Denver Broncos. So true. Well, not almost 300. That's probably like 85 yards away. So
That's almost.
yeah, I think 50 is almost right.
That's like 3 good runs away.
True. True. On a good day, well, if my guys do their job, and my guys
Yeah.
did their job. So.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, it's the shootout like we talking about with Donald, and then Maya coming, or Jane, excuse me, coming to get him, saving from Frosted. This is love. I love this scene where he played around with her right there.
Yeah. That was funny.
We can't really keep it PG, but
Yeah,
just
so we
saying,
can't really go into what he said, but it was funny.
it's funny. This get to that scene and pay attention to he's like shivering. He's like being funny. He's damn near to death, and he's still being funny. So that's a good sport about things.
This is a really good series, and I think me and my wife are on episode 4 or 5,
Yeah,
and it just keeps getting better, and it just shows like the struggles of everybody's had that thing where it's like, oh, if I was a spy, if I had to do these things, like I could do this, I could do that. Like it doesn't look that hard. This series is a really good way to look at like two normal people who, I mean, maybe they're not normal because I mean they know how to fight, but whatever. But it's like two normal people who decided, hey, this is what we want to do. We think we'll be good at it, and it kind of gives you like the nuances and the things of like this is what they have to go through. I mean, like, okay, you have to fake a marriage. What would you do? Would you go full force into the marriage, or would you try to keep things separate? You have to, get close to these people, and this is your mission. This is what you have to do.
Team sport.
Nothing else. What are you going to do? And it shows, he cares about people. He wanted to save her, even though it was just, this is what you have to do. Once you do that, you're done. He was like, okay, well, she got kidnapped. I have to go save her. Like, so it's a great series to kind of look at through the lens of like, okay, if I become a spy, like, which one of them would I be like?
Exactly. And I probably like neither one. Like I will probably follow the rules. Not probably. I'll follow the rules, whatever rules they tell us about each job. And I would be strict. I wouldn't be as strict as Jane is, Maya's character, because she gets almost mean. Like like in this scene right here when she's talking about, you shouldn't be calling your dad or your mom and like
she's like, I cut it off.
She's like going ham on him. So I'm like, you got to know some areas, but then take it easy on others. But also know when we're in a gunfight, then it gets real, or a fist fight. Like, all right. But when we're behind the scenes and stuff like that, I'm just gonna joke, have a good time. Like, all right. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna be like, dope, hey, yo, we are CIA agents. Like, we are those people.
Like, we really out here.
We out here like this. That's what I'll be like when we sitting at the dinner table scoping our job out, like scoping the marks. I'll be like, hey, you realize what we doing now? We doing that James Bond stuff.
Like, we are in the Italian Dolomites
that
we didn't pay for.
Right.
And this is what we have to do. Like, bro, that's crazy.
And we can just shoot anybody we really want to shoot. But obviously we know who we're going to shoot, but we could kill anybody. Like, it would get covered up. It wouldn't even be us that got brought up, in the news coverage,
And what's even crazier is that's real. Like, that's like that happens.
That happens in real life.
This is real. Like, not this exactly, but like this happens. Wow.
Exactly. So that's what I'll be doing. But I thank God I'm not going to be a CIA agent. Even though my wife's like, you're different and you're probably an alien. I'm like, if I am, I don't know I am.
I
might have that little person. You've seen Men in Black, right?
Yeah, that's you.
I got that little alien that's in my head right now. That
100%.
When I go blank, I don't know that because Turkey BLT, great name, by the way. He said my mic keeps going in and out. Yeah, that was because I'm I keep going back and forth, so I got to stop that. That's my fault. But that's the third rundown. I say that's the last segment of the show here, guys. And so we got episode 4 starting up next week of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And I kind of peeked ahead too. I can't lie. And it's a good one. It is a good one. It's one of the.
It's funny.
It's spoilers in it, so I'm not going to give it away. You just got to wait for next week. And next week, Rico and chat, I will be in Boston.
Really?
For a couple of events. PAX East is one. And for College Esports Expo. So I'm going to be around some of my other, co-workers or other coaches and directors from around the U.S., from other universities and colleges, sharing our best practices or taking notes on everything. Oh, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna definitely do that. And I'm a note taker. I'm definitely a note taker. And then when I was a kid, I was in junior high school. I used to take little tiny notes on purpose. Like I you know how font you could probably get down to like size 8, where you could barely read it. I used to go like smaller than that. It used to piss my parents
You're crazy.
and the teachers too.
You're crazy.
And I just had nothing. I would get bored. I would be so bored that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write and so my handwriting is gonna be so small. You're gonna need a magnifying glass to read it.
I'm
I was one of those
left-handed.
students.
I'm left-handed, so I can't do that because if I would have done that small enough, it would have smudged and I wouldn't have been able to read it.
I was lefty too, and it didn't smudge. You know what I did?
Did you
I
like
cut a
hold your hand
sock.
up?
No, I cut a sock. This is me being a lefty and being like, I don't want that to happen anymore because I know the lefty smudge thing.
Yep.
Because I sign, me signing autographs. I took a sock, an old raggedy sock, out of my closet, cut the tube off of it, and then made it into a glove. Like I cut a thumb hole into it and put it on my hand. So then this part of my hand,
It doesn't smudge. Interesting.
boom. I need to make that a thing.
You got to copyright that.
I got a copyright. I already sold.
Trademark it.
Yeah, it's too late now. On the podcast here. Oh man, great show, Rico, man, today. Hey, Kevin Wynn was awesome. I mean,
That was awesome.
He's a system program director there at University of Hawaii. And man, the first I heard of the University of Hawaii was when I was at the Esports Awards in Vegas last year, and they won an award for the best esports program between production and I think at the time, no, it wasn't. Yeah, for production purposes. So all their streams, they had like anime level graphics and
That's awesome.
intro and stuff like that. And I was like, that is so dope. And then I was like, man. And then I got introduced to them just recently to get them on. Sky is their director, as Kevin mentioned, wasn't able to make it, but hopefully we get him on another time. But yeah, that was a good time with him, man. Good talking. I say, when you have passionate coaches like that and that want to, get into getting their players on the level where they understand what they have to do and where they can go if they just put up the right effort and then everything will, walk out for them the proper way. Those are the coaches that, like myself, that are out there, that obviously the unsung heroes. I think somebody put that in the chat earlier. So yeah, the unsung heroes out there. So about to jump off this stream real quick. So Rico, let everybody know where they can find you on social.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow me on Twitter/X at Radio Rico AC. Right here.
It's coming.
That one right there.
Yeah.
At Radio Rico AC right there. You can follow me on Instagram at Enrique Alvarez Clary. And if you want to follow me on Twitch, which I haven't been doing much
you gotta stream
for
Twitch,
quite
bro.
some while, I do have to figure it out. I got to get back on there. Nikki
Yeah,
_flash _ I'm gonna get on there. I'm gonna get back on there. I'm gonna start streaming again. But look, follow me on Twitter. Sometimes I say funny things. Follow me on Instagram. Sometimes I post some pretty cool pictures. And also follow along with me as I work at 93.7 The Ticket. It's a radio station here in Lincoln. I have my own hour show. From 1 to 2 p.m. Central called The Happy Hour. It's with me and Nick Sainert, my good friend. And also, I get to travel with the Omaha Supernovas, Professional Volleyball Federation, some pro volleyball. So you can listen to that 93.7 The Ticket. And actually, they have 2 matches this week if you want to listen. Thursday, they play Atlanta, and Saturday, they play Orlando. So you can listen into that. And again, follow me on Twitter, and I'll post some cool pictures and some stats and whatnot from those matchups. It's pretty fun.
Sounds good. All right, Rico, my turn. You go to Ahman Green 30, all one word, on Instagram and X. TikTok is Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge, and we have Ahman Green or AG gamerslounge.com. Check out the website as well. It is a nice website to get caught up on all the episodes because we have 201, Rico. 201 episodes. 201. And you almost are not a rookie anymore. You're almost I think you're close too, because you've been on almost a year.
Yeah, I'll keep the rookie title. I like it.
I don't think you're a rookie no more. I'm gonna check the records before we come back to next week's show to see where you at.
I definitely want rookie of the year.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely.
If there's something like that for a talk show host, then I'm gonna give it to you.
Easily.
I'm gonna give it to you. Rookie of the year.
I'll take it.
Rico Clary. There it is. So we're about to break this down. So everyone have a great rest of your hump day. If you're in Hawaii, it's only like 4 o'clock in the afternoon there. So you got a great rest of your day.
Yeah.
It's almost bedtime. So I know it's bedtime for your little kid.
Yeah, I gotta go put them to bed.
Get my granddaughter to bed because she's 4. she can't be up past 10 because then she turns into a little gremlin
Oh.
and eating everything and just pulling wires out the wall, destroying headsets and everything. She destroyed her headsets today. I was like, oh.
All
I
bad.
had to give her. I gave her one of these. Don't do that face. You're not gonna bring Grandpa Green here. Don't do that face. But yeah, so I gotta handle that here. So man, get to those kiddos and chat too. If you got. Like, okay, we can do two episodes.
Yep.
All right, here we go. We're gonna put this up right now, the graphic right here, and say bye.